Good afternoon on what is a bright, mild afternoon. It is Monday, January the 3rd, 2022. I'm back in the Read Nook with a nice hot cup of tea. And a parcel I am going to unbox. So, let's find out what is in here. Do this without slicing my fingers off. Just trying to find out. Oh, it's on the back. So, just trying to find out where the sender has. There we go. What I've got is that. Okay, so let me just open that fully. Okay. This is Planar Compass issue 2. Fanzine for essentially designed for use with Old School Essentials. Old School Essentials is from Necrotic Gnome and is a retroclone that has been, which is a tidied up and represented version of the Moldvay version of Basic Dungeons and Dragons. And if you haven't got a copy, it's excellent. But this is a fanzine dedicated to it, and this does require Planar Compass 1. Don't have that yet; it's on its way. So, why do you seek adventure? Is it for riches, fame, or the thrill? All this and more can be found in the astral sea, but what weird dangers lurk below the psychic waters? Are the rewards truly worth the risk? It promises buccaneers of the big black. So it's quite lengthy. Yeah, this is as fanzines go. 67, 69. 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, 70 pages long. That's a lot. I mean, it's almost a supplement on its very own. So inside we have essentially the multiverse in brief, which lists basically planes, descriptions of the inhabitants, known portals, and distance from Dreamhaven. Basically a quick introduction before then we get into the introduction proper. Welcome back. As endless as the stars in the sky, as infinite as the planes of existence, there is a sea between. Welcome to issue 2. We hope you've weathered the storms of the mundane and are ready for an escape. What you hold in your hands has been shared. Has been a shared escape for our team, and it's time you join us on our journey. An ancient proverb tells us there are mountains beyond mountains. In the astral sea, it's more akin to Donovan. First there is a mountain, then there is no mountain, then there is. Things are different in this place. Everything shifts and changes, balances briefly and trips along. There's always something peeking out the edges of the frame, waiting to be discovered with the next roll of dice. So what you need for this, as it clearly says, is Old School Essentials, Planar Compass issue 1. And it's got optional books as well. And it's designed for player characters of level 4 and above. And the waters of the astral sea, it says, are the thoughts, hopes, dreams, and nightmares of all sentient beings in the multiverse. As such, all physical matter is alien to the astral sea. All things found there that aren't psychic water are the result of planar intrusions. So, monsters. We go into monsters. We have bubonic barnacles, algae bloom, dragons, and planar tears. Or tears, I think. Fool's Fire and Glass Giants, Hypnotl or Hypnolotl. The layout is quite tight. I think some people may find there's a lot of sort of like as if white spaces. If basically you could have allowed a bit more use of that space to make it breathe a bit. It's fine. We've actually got so plenty of different monsters in there. Pasgul, Psychic Dugong, Rock Crab. before we get into nice little dark little comic there, just setting the basically setting the stage for essentially there and your exploration. More monsters like the Kia. I think these appear to be different stages of monsters. You've got a Kia Lava, a Kia Pupa, and a Kia Imago or Imago. And we've got pirate encounters, because essentially if you've got a sea of any kind, even including an astral sea, you need pirates. And one of the things that basically I can imagine you can actually do with this should be actually great. Basically, if it's an astral sea, have them go to somewhere like Junior Jack's, the Godwell, put out by Lost Pages, because essentially there are lots of different ports of call, and that's perfect. We've got a guide to astral ships, and if you're kind of thinking essentially of something akin to Space Jammer, well, I wouldn't be too far from that, but I think obviously it's their take upon that kind of genre. So we've got ship descriptions there. Everything from an Adelcy Drakkar, a catamaran, a Skulga sloop, a Tortuga, and a psionic ship. Magic items also there, because who knows what you can find out there on the astral seas. Hex flowers, and these are used to generate locations. So, I mean, the thing is, almost as this is done like a fanzine, it's really more than a fanzine. It's really moving the fanzine into something that is actually a full-blown supplement rather than essentially an anthology of little bits. So then we get to a guide of astral sailing and travelling and encounters. The guide to the planes themselves. So you've got astral islands, psychic storms, potentially benign encounters, potentially dangerous encounters, potentially benign encounters, more in both essentially whether in the elemental air, elemental earth. There aren't a lot of options in here, but I think really it depends where the player character is going to travel to, and they might not come back. They might get it's a revisit. So it points essentially not to a hugely extensive campaign running this, when really you've only sort of like for in say the elemental air, you've only got 4 or 5, 6 entries essentially per table. That's enough to keep a campaign going for a short while. So, quick descriptions of all these locations. It's just a little more thumbnail descriptions and really of what you might encounter there. Then we have an actual description of the Hunter on the Waves before we get into a proper full the Kia dungeon. Should a ship be swallowed by the Kia Imago, survivors of the daunting task of navigating and escaping from the depths of the creature's interior. So that's quite interesting. I really like that idea. Instead of the creature itself becomes the dungeon, and then because I've seen that before more recently again in the Genial Jack, which I mentioned earlier. So this might be the dark sort of like essentially counterpart to that. So we have optional tables at the back. Dealing with things such as cavity shapes, NPCs, temperature, smell, taste things, noise, essentially generating the environment around you. Adventure hooks. Lots of adventure hooks. That is Planar Compass issue 2. Really glad I got hold of a copy of that. I've been after it for a while. I've got to go and get both. Issue 1 is on its way. I've got to go and get a copy of the sort of like the player's book for this. But in the meantime, I look forward to giving this a full review. Excuse me. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, please do click that like button down down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, appreciate you posting those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in Nook, where you'll see me out here with a essentially package and a book or game, which I will unbox and talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, then please do click that like button, click that subscribe button down below. And I can't promise, but sometimes there will be a cat who is not ours with me, but I will always have a nice hot cup of tea. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.